Welcome to Colney Talk Podcast.
Hello and welcome. You're listening to Colney Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Alex, with another bite-sized podcast. I briefly talk about Arsenal football games post-match, highlighting top 3 players in the game and the one other player lacking energy, gone missing, needed to keep it up tight, pull up his socks, or someone that just didn't show up at all. So today I'll be talking about Arsenal's game against Aston Villa. It was a 2-1 victory. Another serious display of dominance by the team. If you look at the activities in the box, you would think it was 4 or 5 goal game. So many missed chances in front of goal. The headline of the game were the injury absentees of Partey and Zinchenko and Martinelli. So Sambi Lokonga showed up to the game. It's his first start and clean performance on his part, I'll say. He played really well. He was very conscious of his start. He was very conscious of the position that he was filling, replacing Thomas Partey in his absence and knowing that he would have to perform much better than he did previous games. I mean, granted, he has not had the chance to do that except in preseason games or other friendlies and things like that. But it was good to see him perform really well, considering just the short, transition of him getting right in. But he's a professional. That was expected. He's trained all leading up to the game, so it was good to see. And interestingly, there weren't nerves for me, and I didn't even think we were going to be showing a lot of vulnerability since we were missing key players, especially in the middle of the park, having that anchor, if you will, being Thomas Partey not being there. But then again, now having Zinchenko was just another gaping, miss. But glad to have Turney, fill right in and just do what he normally does. It's a good thing to have that these backup players, and air quotes backup players, are really quality starters. That's what we should be looking to have for the most part, even as much as we consider them 22, 23, 24-year-old players. So in that sense, there weren't nerves on my part just watching the game and really looking at how we would perform. Yes, we were playing at home and in front of the fans, so we needed to put up a performance, and it was another impressive game, and the players were really up for it. Top 3 players of the game. First, I'll start with Gabriel Jesus. He was a pest in every sense of the word. He's just not a player that wants to score only. He wants to give the goal. He wants a goal to happen one way or another. Never turns it off. Always in a good place on the ball and off the ball as well. He was very reactive. I mean, that's how he got us the first goal anyway. We did bang on the door. We were just right there, making so much threats. A number of close chances. A good theme to have, especially when you're dominating this much in possession. So that was it for Jesus. Playing as expected, really enforcing his presence, pressing his players, really stealing the balls and creating a lot of close chances where we should just finish him off. But that's another conversation. But he takes one of the spots of the top 3 players of the game. Next up is Martinelli. He was superb in the game. Great goal by him as well. It wasn't an easy thing to do technique-wise, scoring. That boy just keeps getting dangerous game after game, and just the combination and chemistry that he's developing with Gabriel Jesus is just making it so much more exciting to see how they play together, and it's really flowing really well. There was like a photo freeze moment for me where there were 4 players on him, like just focused on him. He was still there in charge of the ball, just still trying to cut through and make a pass or just create something at that moment. It was just something great to see. And then another instance where he escaped the squeeze in where there were about 2-3 players, and this is not the first time, by the way. Just really finding his way, squeeze out of the left wing where they try to box him in, and it just keeps getting better. He's just on another level, no doubt about it. He had himself a great game, and at this moment, all we can ask for now is for him to raise this level of finishing. I think that's where we need them to get to. That's a conversation I would like to be talking about on this podcast. I would like to be saying how much we need to have these players get better with the finishing, not to our detriment, hopefully, fingers crossed, but just that we can see that they're making about 6 and 7 close chances where it's trying to get the ball in goal, but miss chances here or there, but not for long, just to keep that consistency. But at least that we can see that level has gone up in being ruthless in front of goal. And for the final spot of the top 3 is Osaka. Even though he missed a sitter, he was just his assists is a credit to him for the win, which I would consider his redemption. Osaka looked much alive than his previous game against Fulham. He'll just have to continue working on his finishes as well. And as much as I've said that for Martinelli, that was one of the things that Arteta said. He needs to be ruthless in front of goal. It's something that he's probably observed. I mean, obviously in all training and seeing them much closer, but that killer instinct, making sure like they're killing them off, getting the game, taking that away in the very early stages of the first half, most of the times, is what we expect, and is how they should be thinking going forward. And hopefully that we can see a lot of that come to fruition. Osaka, he's really special. He gets on the ball, he creates something. There's just this presence of something magical will happen. This is just one of these praises that I know that you see it and it's very evident. I'm really looking forward to other areas in his game where he continues to grow, and especially his techniques in finishing of the ball and really doing a lot of these things. When he gets very good rests, as we all know now, he was short in that area, and there is some sort of reinforcement that will come, hopefully, in another much closer transfer window or another opportunity where we find a gem. These rests will help him. He will perform much, much better. I'm pretty sure about that. But then again, he already is doing that. So those are my top 3 for this game. Now, the other guy today was Ramsdale. Just allowing that terrible goal was just not good. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna sit here and talk so much about it as an excuse or something. I mean, it is a good teaching moment, but I could not understand how he imagined the play would go. He should have put a little bit more effort to create something where it's either a foul and then they will, nullify that corner, or it goes away. Maybe he thought he would get a call with the player just shielding him. Just didn't make sense. I mean, I'll just probably leave it at that. But before I finish, a special mention is needed for Edin Ketia. He is so much polished and glides when he's on the ball. He moves much quicker. He is a different player than we saw or know about him last year. I don't know what happened. I don't know what clicked. I don't really understand what really raised his level, but I like it. It is so good. It's worth mentioning, and I notice how he gets so quickly on the ball, and he releases the ball quick, like just one touch and it's out. He moves, and he kind of is really picking up some of these things that Gabriel Jesus does as well, where he can take the ball and move with it. He has a very good hold-up play, and he's another player I look forward to seeing a lot more in our Europa games. And, we will see him in Premier League games as well, but, he gets his center stage when it's Europa games, which we should start seeing him pretty soon. But, yeah, it is worth mentioning. So those are my 3-1 nominees for the game against Villa. Jesus, Martinelli, Saka, and begrudgingly The other guy today was Ramsdale. So I hope you enjoyed this very short podcast. Please share it with your friends. And thanks again for listening to Colney Talk Podcast with me, Alex. Stay classy, share a smile, cheers, and bye for now.